All right. We are live. We are live, everybody, in the Life After Sales group. I have Leilani here. Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
Hey,
Hey, so we will see if anybody pops on. We'll just wait a couple of minutes. But yeah, how's your day been, Leilani? How's your New Year's?
it's been good. You can't see it right now, but we have a little bit of snow outside. I'm in Canada near Niagara
Oh,
Falls. So it's nothing too bad, but it's windy. Like
I
super windy
bet.
right now. So if you hear any howling in the background, that would be it.
Oh
How
my
about you?
goodness. Yeah. Well, we're supposed to have a snowstorm rolling through here today. It was supposed to
Oh,
hit about 9 a.m. and all the stores are wiping out the shelves and everything. And but they were even saying, I heard on one of the Facebook groups, they're like, oh, there's not gonna be gas at the gas pumps. I'm like, what is going on out there? So
that's intense.
yeah,
Did they
but
say
no
like how
snow.
many inches are projected?
I think they said like 6 to 12 inches.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But it's supposed to be super cold because of the cold with the ice and all of that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So I'm in Kansas, so it's gonna get a little colder.
At least you're
But
nice and snug in your house. You don't have to go work
yeah. Oh
outside or
yeah.
anything.
That reminds me. Let me turn on my heater. All right. Well, I guess we'll get started then. Let me just make sure we are live in the group. I
I
think
just
we
got a
are.
notification that we are.
We are. Okay. Let's see. Uh, I'm just double checking.
Says live now. See here. Am I
If
gonna
I
break
can
my computer if I look at
function.
that?
No, you're fine. Yep, we are live.
Cool.
Okay, we're live. Sweet. Perfect. Well, this is episode 1 of Life After Sales with Leilani here from Canada. She's got a little bit of snow, not too much, which is great for all you Canadians.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, we're gonna just dive in and talk about our pivots to the Sales Afterlife. And Leilani is gonna start off with talking about first and foremost, I guess, tell me a little bit about your journey. Like, why did you get into remote sales?
Yeah, so I got into remote sales back in, I think around 2018. And it wasn't my idea, it was my husband's idea. Because at the time I was working at a microgreens farm, which was really just like I don't know, like a trailer with a bunch of plants growing in it, and it was not the best setup. It would be like, I don't know what this is in Fahrenheit, but in the summer it would be like 40 degrees Celsius in there, and then it'd get super cold in the winter. And I was making like $15 an hour, so it wasn't ideal. I was bringing my kids with me because my husband and I, we homeschooled them. And then my husband one day he was like, I'm watching this guy Grant Cardone on YouTube and he talks about sales a lot. Maybe you should get into sales. I was like, okay, cool. So then I like took a resume with like no sales experience on it to
Oh,
car
geez.
dealerships in the area and like no one got back to me. So then I started looking online, seeing if I could find an online sales job where I could stay at home with my kids. And miraculously, I found one. It was 100% commission, but like that didn't phase me at the time. So I interviewed for that and I got the position and I was really excited and that was the beginning of my journey.
Oh, my word. Wow. Grant Cardone, huh?
Yeah, I'm not
uh,
such a fan of his like sales style, but I'm grateful to
oh,
him
come
for
on.
even having
Grant's
the
great.
idea. Yeah, if you like the high
uh,
pressure kind of stuff.
oh, man. I think I just love Grant's story, his journey. I think I resonate a lot with Grant, but that's for another time.
Mhm.
Well, awesome. So your husband kind of pitched you the idea and you went with it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not that good looking. I don't think I could do it, but you could do it. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try.
You have to be good looking. Oh,
I
geez, we'd
think
all
it
be
doesn't
losing
hurt.
then. Uh, well, nice. Okay, so so your husband kind of pitched the idea. You
Mhm.
got started in it. It's been a while now. When you first got into it, what were sort of like the initial plans for remote sales? Like, was it something you were thinking you wanted to be in like long term and make a career out of it, or were you setting aside like, okay, I only want to do this for X number of years? What was sort of the initial plans?
So the plan, I guess you could say, like because of Grant Cardone, sales, he also does real estate investing. So the thought was kind of do enough sales that we can make enough money so that we can start investing in real estate. That hasn't happened yet, but it was never like a long-term plan for me to do remote sales for like years or decades on end. If we weren't thinking that far ahead, we were hoping that we could do something more passive in the future with the money that I'd hopefully be bringing in through sales.
Yeah, yeah. We'll talk about that because you didn't plan on it for long term. You want to get into real estate, which you haven't quite yet.
Right.
Um, so talk about that journey. Like, what has that sort of been like in terms of hopefully you make the kind of money that you want to make to be
Mm,
able to um invest into real estate.
right.
Like
Yeah.
what has that sort of been like?
So I think that most people in remote sales nowadays can relate to these fluctuations in sales. You know, some months you're like on top of the world, on top of the leaderboard, you're bringing in a lot
Mm,
of money. And then other times you're barely scraping by. And that was my experience with my first role, where like 4 months in, I made like 16,000 in a month, which was a record for the company. And then like a few months after that, I was making like 2,000 in a month. It was just like up and down, and it wasn't really sustainable. And
mm-hmm,
so that's why I'm even considering like getting out of sales and doing something
mm-hmm,
else entirely, because like the ups and downs, and I know that, like with entrepreneurship there's going to be ups and downs obviously, but with starting my own business that is not just like a sales contractor, I feel like I have more control over my schedule, because as you know, like a lot of these high ticket coaching offers, they want people who are working for them full time. Like they want ownership over your calendar, and they want to control you in a sense. You really don't have that
mm,
autonomy that you could get with your own business. And I know some
yeah,
people, they can finagle their way into that autonomy through their offers or roles or whatever that they're selling on, but and
yeah,
those are hard to find. I feel like those are really rare
yeah.
to get into.
Well, and two, I think just to kind of bounce off this a little bit here, I mean, from my experience and a lot of people in the space that we're connected to, a lot of people got into remote sales for that kind of idea, the dream of,
Mhm.
oh, you're in control of your own time.
Right.
You have flexibility over your calendar. You can take calls whenever. You can have financial freedom, right? Like that was sort of the marketing dream.
That's what we
And
were
then
sold.
right. A lot of people were sold that. I mean, thankfully, I wasn't. I came into this because I actually wanted to get better at sales. I had my own business, was doing my own virtual assisting at the time. And I was like, hey, I've got clients, I'm, doing service providing work. I was like, but I want to get better at sales. I want to be able to convert better, get better at it. And that's why I dove into sales. So I wasn't like sold the dream, so to speak.
Yeah.
But anyways, and so I think a lot of people fall into that misconception of, oh, this is what the life is all about. And I'm still
Hmm.
seeing it. I'm still
Yeah.
seeing every day I see ads. They're like, oh, you get to pick your own schedule and you have autonomy and all of this. And it's crazy because I'm just like, these marketers out here, I just are just not transparent and are not being
Hmm.
realistic with people.
Right.
And it's just, yeah, it's a gross feeling. It's icky, honestly,
Yeah. Yeah, for
so
sure. And I
if,
guess that's why like the FTC is cracking down on so many of these companies, just
yeah.
because they aren't being upfront with like what is realistic that you can actually
Oh yeah.
achieve. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we won't get into names, but yeah,
No.
definitely have had, yeah, there's been a fair share of FTC crackdowns on, lying to people about
Mhm.
what the realistic possibilities are with this and so forth. So, and not fulfilling on it, right? So,
Yeah.
you dived a little bit into why you decided to transition, but I don't think fully completely. So, the main reason you decided to transition out of remote sales, is that because of the inconsistency and the ups and downs, or
Yeah.
elaborate a little
So,
bit more on that?
well, yeah, both that. Like, I want something a bit more stable than that, not having to worry that I will just be let go one day and my calendar access will be revoked and all of my leads
Oh
will be
God.
given to someone else without being notified. Also, I personally feel that selling is very stressful. I know with like entrepreneurship, like starting your own business, you're going to be selling anyway, right? You're selling a service or a product or whatever. But for me, like selling to people a product that maybe I'm not 100% behind, maybe that I don't know all the ins and outs of yet, it just gives me like a weird feeling. Like a lot of
Yeah.
times in these sales roles that I've had over the years, I feel like I have to bend the truth or like sidestep certain questions, things like that. Or I'm trained to like do the high pressure hard sell. I really don't like that. Like it just makes me feel gross. I get like, I don't know, my stomach starts to turn and then I feel like I'm
Mm-hmm.
like all nervous on the call and whatever. And I just hate that. I don't feel authentic a lot of times when I'm selling. I know there's more authentic ways to sell, but yeah, just like doing 100 dials a day or doing like, I don't know, 8 Zoom calls a day trying to sell something. Like, yeah, the money can be great, but I homeschool 2 children and that's kind of hard. But with the businesses that I'm starting, it's like at least maybe I can bring them with me or get them more involved in a sense that I can't do when I'm selling for someone else.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You got to be on this sales call at this
Mhm.
specific time, and then heck forbid your kid might jump into your Zoom call while you're on a sales call,
Mhm.
or something happens and you might not be able, like, you want to be there to be able to readily be available for your kids at that specific time. And, I mean, there's a lot of different things too that come and go with that, yeah, that you touched on that are, I mean, are all valid reasons to um go into the direction of your own thing, right?
Right.
Being your own business owner. And so what have you decided to do instead now that
Yeah.
you're
So
transitioning out? Love to
yeah,
hear it. Let's dive
there's
into it.
2 things that I'm doing. So, like a month ago, my husband came up with this idea. He was like, I was watching Upflip on YouTube and I saw this really awesome business idea, and I was like, okay, let's hear it. So the idea was pet waste removal services. So
Okay.
the gist of it, scooping up dog poop from people's backyards. I was like, okay, that's not like the least gross thing I could do, but I like that it is a service that's recurring, right? So I would be getting that like
mm,
regular income coming in. So like if I'm scooping someone's yard once a week for a month, and then I can charge them $100 a month, and then I have like, 50 of those clients, and they each take like 15 minutes, it can get pretty lucrative, and it's something that is
yeah.
possible to scale as well, where I can bring on other people, train them to scoop poop and get them like
Train
a
your
company
kids to do
truck or
it.
whatever. Yeah, my kids can help. I'll give them a few bucks for that.
Put them
Um,
to work.
yeah. So I think that there's a lot of potential in this business because, people are busy nowadays. People don't want to be scooping up their dog poop necessarily. Maybe they, in the wintertime especially, maybe it's too cold for them to like want to take their dog on a walk. So they're like, okay, Fido, just go out in the backyard and do your business and then come back in. But I don't want to go out there and be scooping up frozen poop. So that's
Yeah.
where, I don't mind doing that stuff. I don't mind getting my hands dirty. So I thought that would be fun. And with the sales skills that I have gained from doing remote sales for the past, what is it, like 6 years, I feel like I have a foot up on potential competitors. Like there's some people in like an hour's drive that do the same thing, but they've been doing it for like 10 years and it's only them, like they haven't scaled at all. So I feel like there's a lot of opportunity in my area to really do something with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So the poop scooping business, why did you pick that? I mean, aside from you said you feel that it's lucrative. I mean, we see so many different ideas out there on the internet, right? Like so many things you can become, right? You could become a life coach, you could become, this influencer, that influencer, like all these different things. And what I'm finding in my own experience and my own research is like a lot of these like not so sexy businesses, so to speak, right?
Mhm.
Are a lot of people are starting to like transition into those or wanting to transition into those. So why did you pick that one specifically, like dog pooping?
Dog pooping. Yeah. I
Why
know what you
dog
mean.
pooping?
But yeah, I
Poop
picked that because,
scooping, whatever.
like for a while, my husband was like, you should do like sales coaching and teach people how to do sales. And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't like stuff like that because it's hard to show like the ROI and I
Mhm.
don't know. It's just too much energy for me. Just like emotional bandwidth to do something like that. And then there's also imposter syndrome. Like, am I actually good enough at sales to be teaching other people sales? Like, am I good enough at anything to be coaching people on something? So I didn't want to do that. And then I also felt that with coaching, it's like it's so subjective, but with pet waste removal. It's like you go into someone's yard, you scoop up all the poop, and then you take a before and after picture, and it's like, here's the results. They're clear, poop and then
Yeah.
no poop. It's really like cut and
Yeah.
dry. So that's what I
Straightforward.
like about it. Like there's no real argument about like, oh, you didn't do your job. So I that's a reason that I was really drawn to it. I think that services where you get that recurring revenue are really amazing because it's not like you have to be going out and getting whole new clients every single month to be making the same amount of money. You
Mhm.
can kind of stack those clients up and be continuously making more money. You're not just relying on
Mhm.
like a one-off. It's nice to have something that you can rely on and say, okay, I know
Mhm.
that I have 20 clients. I know I'm going to be making like $2,000 every single month. I'm going to get more clients and so on and
Mm.
so forth. So
That's
I
so
like that
smart.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like too with that, it's like it's a service that's needed, right? It's kind of like in a way a commodity. Like if you
Right.
have a dog or pet, whatever, you're gonna need that poop cleaned up, right? Whether
Right.
you do it or have someone else do it, like it's gonna need to be done.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I
I guess
I
it could
think
be
that's great.
kind of a luxury, like house cleaning, people don't need to have a house cleaner or whatever. But so many people, you know, our time, there's only so many hours in a day. Like, do you want to spend
Mhm.
your time cleaning your house, picking up your dog's poop, things like that, like cleaning
Yeah.
your swimming pool, whatever it is? Or do you want to pay someone to come and mow your lawn and whatever on a regular
Mhm.
basis? Take that off your hands so that you can be doing something else, like hanging out
Mhm.
out with your kids or I don't know, working more hours or whatever it is.
Right, right, right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, time is money. That's the way I
Yes.
look at it. I'm like, whatever I can do to save me time, great. Like,
Hmm.
sign me up.
Right.
That's why
Yeah.
I'll always invest in a mentor, or a coach or somebody, or to teach me whatever it is that I want to learn, because I want to cut my time that it's going to take for me to learn XYZ skill
Hmm.
or whatever it is I'm trying to accomplish. Um, Instead of trying to YouTube university it, so to speak. So okay, so you talked about that. I love that. Well, tell me more about you said there was two business ideas. So what
Okay.
is this other infamous business idea that you've not
Infamous. Oh
shared
my
with
gosh.
me yet?
Yeah. So the other business. So for the past 10 years now, 11 years, I've been quilting. So I started out when my daughter was born and I made her like a baby quilt. And then I was making like 8-bit pixel style baby quilts and wall hangings and things like that, like Super Mario and Kirby and whatever. And
Fun.
then and then I was gonna plan on selling those on Etsy, but I listed them and no one was buying them, but they weren't the best at that time because like I was just kind of getting started in quilting. But it was a hobby that I continued to do, branching out into more modern quilting and doing bigger quilts and things like that. And I was wondering, like, I follow a lot of quilters on Instagram, and they come out with quilt patterns all the time. Some of them have courses on how to become like a quilt pattern designer or how to design your own fabric and things like that. So I was like, well, these people are doing it. I want to design my own quilts and patterns
Hmm.
and sell those and find a way to make money from quilting instead of spending so much money on my
Yeah.
fabric and stuff all the time. So my business idea for that is to become a quilt pattern designer. I've already come up with one pattern that I've been working on with like Illustrator and InDesign and things like that. So I'm not sure the timeline
Nice.
on that because it's been a while since I looked at that one. But another idea I had is to come up with a quilt planner using Notion to create a template. And
Okay.
what I love about both these ideas, the quilt patterns and the uh, planner template, is that they're digital products where you just make it once and then you can sell them an infinite number of times. So I think that that's something that I can make a bit of money with, like not a ton, but it's possible that I can make a bunch in the future. Where I
Hmm.
really see the money though is like teaching other people to make the patterns and sell them or things
Mm.
like that. Because yeah, a lot of people don't want to spend money on stuff unless they're learning how to make more money, basically. So that's how I would see myself making more money with this business idea. But yeah, I love quilting. I do it like every day. So I'm excited to like finally like launch some products and
Yeah.
sell them through Instagram. I've been like slowly trying to increase my following over the past half year through posting reels on a regularish basis and things like that.
Yes.
So I have
Yes.
like a little bit of an audience and
Uh,
my reels, they do okay. Like one of my most watched reels has almost 800,000 views now. And so, yeah.
nice. What?
So
That's
I feel like if I'm
amazing.
consistent with like the marketing and things like that, I can
Yeah.
grow that quite a bit. And then what I'm learning from, selling stuff through Instagram for my quilts, I feel like I can also take that and then do that with the pet waste removal business and start posting reels about that as well, getting more attention and
Nice.
then hopefully more clients through that as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love this. Well, I love that you're taking your love for quilting, like you said, it's a hobby, and turning it into an actual business, something that you can grow it, scale it, and bring in money with, and that you enjoy doing, you know?
Right.
Because I think a lot of people just don't know what to transition into from sales, right? Like they're just like, I'm good at a lot of things. I have a lot of skill set, but I just don't know what that next step looks like for
Mm.
me. So what I mean for you, I guess it easy because you're like, I have this love for quilting and that it just kind of naturally made sense for you or
Sort of. Well, so for the quilt planner template that I've designed and getting ready to launch that, I made that for myself because I was like, I have so many works in progress, like so many quilts that I'm working on over the past like 10 years. I want to find a way to organize all that information, like what fabrics I used, like what stage at the quilting progress a quilt is at, where I got it long arm quilted or whatever, things like that. So I created the planner for myself. And then I figured, well, if I really like this, if it's working well for me, maybe there's other people out there that it will work for as well. So that was kind
mm-hmm,
of a no-brainer for that. But as for the quilt pattern designing, that was a bit harder because you have to be pretty good at math, I'd say, like figuring out like how much fabric, how much yardage you're going to need and everything. And then also I didn't have like any like Illustrator skills or InDesign or anything like that. So
mm,
I took a course on how to do all the steps to make a quilt pattern ready for sale. So that was hard and I'm still wrapping my head around that. Like
mm-hmm,
now that I'm at the stage where I've drawn my diagrams, I've come up with the math and I was like I got to lay them out into like an 8 by 11 size piece of
yeah,
paper basically. So that is hard. Like it's not coming naturally to me because I get overwhelmed with all the numbers and things like that. But I feel like it's worth it just to have that feeling of accomplishment. Like, yeah, I made that. And then it'd be so cool to see like other people make my quilts, my patterns as well. So that's
nice,
kind of what drives me. Like it's not easy, but it's worth it basically.
yeah, yeah. So you've already been taking steps, it seems like now, to transition into this next phase of your life, right? In terms of what's next for you after sales. Like you already got your Instagram account up, you've been building a following for a little while now. You've been working on your designs, you've been working on your planner, which I'm excited to hear when that's going to go live soon. So you've already been taking those steps, but Tell me about the challenges you've come up against so far.
I would say just getting in my own way, uh, just procrastination. So this quilt pattern I came up with, it was like 5 years ago that I designed the quilt. And then I think it was 4 years ago that I took the course to learn how to turn it into like a pattern. So it's been a while. So just having the motivation to complete these tasks. And with the planner, I'm just trying to get tutorials created so people know make how to use the planner. It's a Notion template, and not everyone knows how to use Notion, so I have to kind of teach them
Hmm.
how the basics of using Notion plus how to use the planner itself. So I don't know, just the thought of coming up with exactly what to say in a video, what to show them, and how to do it all in one take, because I'm kind of like a one take kind of girl, and how to then package it all up so that people will watch the videos and they'll know exactly what to do in the planner. I don't know, it's just so overwhelming. It's like there's so many steps and there's so many things that can go wrong, and like what if people don't like the planner and all these things. So that just like these kind of ruminating thoughts are kind of slowing me down. Like I wanted to have this
Yeah.
ready for a Black Friday. That's been
Oh, wow.
almost a couple months now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just need to have more confidence in myself that I can do this, and also set myself a timeline to get it done so that I will actually do the work instead of just saying putting it off into the future. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I will release things one day. I have to
Yeah.
just be more stringent on when I accomplish that.
Well, and I think that's huge. I think even for myself too. I mean, like you mentioned, you're like, I'm just kind of, it's you getting in your own way,
Hmm.
right? And like even for myself, I'm like, man, I got all these ideas. I'm not sure quite yet what steps I want to take yet. Like I have my overall vision of what I want to do, but I'm just not sure, is it that time yet to make that transition into more of the end vision, the end goal for myself per se in my own business? Or is there something in the meantime that's more of a stepping stone that's going to then allow me to transition into that, right? And so I think it's like we do tend to get in our own ways, and we're like, oh, we don't want to make the wrong move, we don't want to make mistakes, and what if I'm just not good at it? Like all these kind of
Hmm.
like internal thoughts that just come up. And we all have it. I just don't
Yeah.
think a lot of people talk about it,
Hmm.
and sometimes it's like we just see people on the internet and they're like, oh, on the outside, everything looks great. And, you know, and I'm sure they're all having those similar thoughts or did at one
Right.
point. Right. Um, so it's just been more yourself of just getting out of your own way and not procrastinating on getting this digital product live. So I'm
Yeah.
going to ask you, when does your digital product go live? What's your timeline now?
Okay, so what was today? Saturday. So my goal, let's say I will release it next Saturday. So what I've done, so there's this Facebook group I'm a part of, like sewing space organization or something like that. And
Okay.
someone was asking like, how do you organize all your works in progress so that you don't get distracted by other things and blah blah blah. And then I posted a screenshot of my planner and I was like, this is what I use. And then all these people were commenting underneath like, how do I get that planner? Blah blah blah. So
Oh,
that gives me more
yeah, you got
motivation
to
to
do it.
actually, yeah, I
Yeah,
got to do it.
you're doing
So
it.
yeah, I'm gonna get a few of those people to test it after I've made my tutorial videos for it and then get their feedback on it. And then once that is all done, yeah, next Saturday, I'm going to
All
be
right.
releasing it. I've already created my Etsy page to sell it on. I just need to make a
Okay.
few tweaks to the template and then it'll be good to go.
Nice. Yes, I love that. So the 11th, January 11th, that's your
Yeah.
launch date. You're launching your digital product that day then?
Yeah.
You're doing it. I'm going to hold you to
I'm
it.
doing it. Hold me accountable. And I was
I
thinking,
will.
what I like about your Facebook group, Life After Sales, I was thinking that it'd be nice if while we're doing this transition, all of us together in this group, we can be holding each other accountable, like making sure
Ooh,
that we're actually taking steps towards our entrepreneurial dreams instead of just like kind of sitting in
Just
sales
kind of,
hell.
yeah, ruminating about it and actually taking action, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I love that. Yes. And that and really like that's one of the reasons why I started this group was because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that want to transition out of sales. They want to pivot, but they just don't know where to go. Like they don't
Mm.
know what to do next, what steps to take, what it is they really want to do. I mean, some people go back to corporate sales or go back to a 9 to 5, right? Some people transition, like you said, being a sales trainer or sales mentor or manager. Some people transition into recruiting, like, or some people want to start up a business. And so I think it's great that we can all be collectively collaborating together as a community and hold each other accountable, bounce ideas off each other, and kind of just mastermind together what that looks like for each of us, right? And so I want to actually launch a roadmap of some sort for us that for folks that just don't know yet what they want to do. Maybe they have these skills and they're like, well, what can I do with these skills that I can build a business out of, or what have you, right? So that's something I want to put together. Is like a digital roadmap to kind of help everybody out as just a way to give back. I think that would be
Yeah.
helpful. What do you think?
Yeah, I love that idea because, yeah, like you're saying, like we don't always know what next step to take, what to do, like with these sales skills that we have gained, like what was going to be the best avenue for us to make that more, sustainable income, to, be able to have that freedom, that autonomy that we were maybe originally looking for when we got into sales. So like how do we
Mm-hmm.
get that, but out of, but with our own thing instead of kind of being beholden to some other company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Chasing the next sales gig, the next
Right.
opportunity, you know. Um, what advice would you give to someone who wants to pursue entrepreneurship outside of sales offers?
What would I suggest? I think that just coming up with a really clear idea of what you love to do and what you're good at, because those things don't
Okay.
always go together, right? So think about like what skills you've gained in sales. Maybe it is follow up or something like that. Like what kinds of businesses are you going to be able to utilize that skill? And I think that a big piece of finding your business would be networking, like what's working for other people, what have other people who've transitioned out of sales, what are they doing, right? Just talking to as many people, getting ideas from everywhere, because, you know, if you're living in a vacuum, it's kind of hard to know what to do. But if you're hearing from other people, maybe getting advice from people who are already ahead of where you are
Mm-hmm.
currently, I think that can be super useful. It's good to always build your network anyway. Like, what does Grant Cardone say? Like, contacts are contracts, and your network is your net worth, and blah blah blah. So get around
Yeah.
people who are, in the same boat, but also get around people who are steps above you that can hopefully help guide you or give you ideas on what to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I love that advice. And I think too, just to kind of remember like everybody's journey is their own
Hmm.
as well. And like for you, you chose a hobby that you're really passionate about, something you really love to do, and you're turning that into a business, right?
Yeah.
And for some people, they might not have a great hobby that they're passionate about, that they love to do, so it's just kind of I think taking an inventory of, like you said, what do you really enjoy, what do you love to do, what did you love about sales, right? Like write down those like pros of what you loved about sales, and figuring out how you can kind of create that into your own business too, I think can be um helpful maybe for
Yeah.
people to try to think about. um yeah, but I think that's great. A great piece of advice, also thinking of like your end goal in mind, right? Like,
Hmm.
is this going to get you to where you want to be in life?
Right.
Like down the road, or is this something that's just a stepping stone is going to help you get there, right? Because like for some people, for sales, like I think some people thought this is going to be it for me. Like I'm going to be in sales long term until I can go into multifamily real estate, or until I can invest into, gold, silver, what have you, or into stocks or whatnot. Right. And for some people, maybe it's just not possible yet for them, and they need something else that's going to bring more stability into their life, to where they can have that consistency coming in, to where they can start setting that aside and putting it into that more long-term goal of real estate or investments or what have you too. So
Yeah.
that's also something to think about too, as well, on this journey. But it's great to have you, Leilani. I'm so excited you're here, and we're gonna have to do this more often. But if you guys want to follow Leilani, she is on Instagram. That's her like main account that she's building out her quilting business on. It's at Quilt Cheese Sandwich on Instagram, at Quilt Cheese Sandwich. If I said
Yeah,
that
like a
right, did I say
grilled
that right?
cheese sandwich, but with a quilt instead of grilled.
Okay, okay. So fun. So thank you guys for joining us today on Life After Sales, our first episode 1 on the talk show. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can reach out to either one of us. And we are excited to keep supporting you throughout your journey with us here in Life After Sales. So we will all talk soon. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.
Bye.